not good at short, so. Which I'll try to be good at short this morning, I promise.
Brian Barber's pretty consistent.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here. I just love Rotary, and I was so excited when George reached out to me and told me about your all's work in Uganda, which is where I've been focusing my outreach through my nonprofit What Matters. So I'm so excited to learn more about that and really thrilled to be here to share with you a little bit. It's funny, I was getting ready this morning and I was thinking about the last time I spoke with your club, and I'm sure it was either with a Red Cross hat or a United Way hat, and it's so ironic because my message when I was chair of the United Way campaign and raising money for the Red Cross, my primary message throughout all the fundraising campaigns was, please donate to me, donate through this cause because I'll make sure your dollars stay here in Front Royal Warren County. I mean, that was my platform. We need to help our own. We need to help Front Royal Warren County. There's so much need here at home. I remember I would even write the checks for the United Way. My sponsorship went to pay the dues to the international or whatever United Way organization so that I could, without a doubt, say 100% stays right here. It was my message to the world, right? So it's so ironic. That I'm standing here now, like three years later, and building a school in Africa, and about to help buy a music studio there. It's just so ironic, and I guess it's kind of just shows that things just come around. I've never been one to really have goals in my life, which sounds crazy. I think I probably would have some more things to add to my list if I did. It might be a good idea. But I tend to just follow my intuition and see and ask God and the universe, where am I to go next? And I had no idea that I would be heading to Africa in that plan. A mentor of mine, Bishop Makiani, said in a speech recently, he said, people they overestimate what they can do in a year, but underestimate what they can do in 3 years. I botched that. Let me try that again. People overestimate what they can do in a year, but underestimate what they can do in 3 years. And the last 3 years of my life, and reflecting on it, it's just been a transformation. I had a wonderful life, a great career, a great family, involved in a lot of things, but it's totally transformed. I was so busy and just trying to just keep doing more and doing more to try to pay God back for all the blessings I had, working to death, just hoping to make it till Friday so maybe I could sleep in a little bit on Saturday. And it's funny, in this 3-year time period, if anyone would have told me I would have opened up a real estate company that was thriving and then decided to shut it down to start a nonprofit. Of course, I've been divorced in this time period as well, which is a good thing. We're great co-parents. My kids are thriving. It's all worked out for everyone. Just a lot of different things that have transpired in the last 3 years. So one thing I like to say is that everything is always working out, even when it isn't. So the things that come and go in life. But I'll talk about a little bit, leading into my time in Africa. I kind of think, a lot of people do their mission work in life and lead their lives because they're overcoming something, right? The partner that I work with in Africa, he has an NGO there. He overcame poverty, extreme poverty. He would try to find a way to make $1 a day somehow so that he could feed himself and his siblings. It's just amazing. And I think I've been over here growing up. He's a bit younger than me at the same time though, and my challenge has been overcoming abundance. If you think about it, we all are so blessed in this country, most of us. I myself had a wonderful life and perfectly happy, but I realized in about the 2012 to 2015 time period that there was just something missing. And even though I had everything, there was some calling or something that I just needed to face. And so I started to listen to that little voice, and I'm thrilled that it brought me together, ironically, with somebody who was overcoming such great poverty. So the story of how I ended up in Africa is kind of funny. It's a Facebook story. A friend of a friend said, there's this guy on Facebook that friended me that I really think you all need to meet, knowing that I like to do nonprofit work and have initiatives in that regard. I did not click on the link to see about this guy for about 3 weeks because I said, this guy, you just send him $25. He's probably in his mother's basement using that money to buy drugs. I mean, this can't be legit. This kid is doing this great work in Africa. Met on Facebook. Yeah, is this guy even a real person? So finally, I clicked on the video. They, I think, forced me and clicked on it for me. And I saw this guy with dreadlocks, doing a selfie video surrounded by soccer shoes. Of course, they call them football shoes. And he had collected these shoes to take with him to Uganda to go back to his hometown. He actually lives in Norway now, and he worked himself off the streets by learning to dance and sing. He would dance in the shadows, and he and his buddies at night, when there's of course not much recreation to do, they would sing and dance, and he decided to try to make a career of it. He got quite popular in his little hometown area, and there's this little boy named Matthew, who was 9 years old at the time, and when he would come back from doing a performance and walk through the streets, this little boy would run up to him and say, Herbie, teach me to dance, please, teach me to dance. And Herbie said, you're not even in school. Maybe if you go to school, I'll think about teaching you how to dance. And this little boy named Matthew said, my dad won't send me to school, I can't go to school. So Herbie said, take me to your father. He's kind of aggravated about the whole situation. So he goes to Matthew's home. Matthew's father opens the door, and that's when Herbie's life changed. You know, people have these life-changing moments, and this was Herbie's. He had had dreams of being this performing artist, and wearing the gold chains and driving the fancy car and having all the girls and the parties and that sort. He's a young, I guess in his 20s at this time, young 20s. And his life totally changed because when he saw that father and looked in his eyes, he saw his own father. And when he saw that little boy, he saw himself because his parents died of AIDS. And he remembered the struggle that he had on the streets before he was able to make a living by singing and performing. So he told his father, I will take care of your son. I will send him to school. You do not have to ever worry about your little boy again. Well, Herbie got a reputation of, oh, he's helping Matthew. Maybe he can help so-and-so. So he had all these people start coming up to him, asking him for help through the years. And he said, okay. And he realized a few years ago that now that he has like 30-some children in elementary school and throughout all, that he has to try to fund these people throughout their entire schooling career and through college. So he opened up a Facebook profile and decided to try to ask for some help and started friending people. He didn't want to friend friends of friends because he didn't want to overstep those boundaries and ask people for help in that regard. So he started friending random people throughout the world. And he friended someone from Front Royal who told me about him. And I do believe that was certainly divine intervention. This guy's an amazing, amazing man, has this NGO that he formed and has been funding the organization through his performing artist work. He was sponsored to go to Norway to go to college, and because people saw what he was doing. So he went to college in Norway and has a degree in social work, and now he actually works with the Norwegian government, and he travels to the different elementary schools and middle schools in Norway, and he does presentations on motivational speaking, signs the kids, autograph Herbie with a Sharpie on their hand, just does singing and dancing with them and that sort. He won Norway's Youth Ambassador of the Year Award in 2012 for his work back in Uganda. So he lives in Norway. He has a wife and two children there. He has a daughter in Uganda from a previous relationship. And he travels back to Uganda about 4 or 5 times a year, takes things from Norway, checks on the mission work. And while he's in Norway, he has his best friend and other friends and people he supported that are now old enough to volunteer. They run what they call the Maisha home, which is where I stay when I go to Uganda. It's a home that children come to visit during school breaks, over the weekends when they're ill. They come to this home and they're well fed, they're checked on by the guys. It's actually all guys. There's one woman, female volunteer, but it's mostly guys. And they are fed and well taken care of. They also have football academies, which is soccer, that they do on the weekends during the school year. And that's primarily so that they can check on these kids, and if they notice someone doesn't show up, they realize they wonder what's going on, they go to their home. Sometimes they'll find that they have malaria or some sickness, and their parents can't afford to send them to the doctor, so they'll take them to the doctor and get some treatment. It seems like at any given time, one of the children that they support has malaria or typhoid. It's just so disheartening, and it's very expensive to get the tests and the treatment for it, and a lot of times their parents just can't afford to do so. So he goes back, he's tried different ways from like having kind of more like orphanages to having parents actually, him paying them to take on other children. But the Meisha home is the best way that he's found to reach the most people because children can come and go. They have 3 sets of 3-level bunk beds in a garage and that the children stay in. And I decided that after I started to correspond with him and learn more about what he's doing, I decided that these children at the Meisha home needed a trampoline. My friends' kids were jumping on their trampoline, and I thought, I want to send a trampoline to Uganda. I'm going to do that. So I messaged him, and we coordinated, and he says, okay, I think what we'll do is that'll be their Christmas present. I'll have it delivered, I'll coordinate it, and I'll pick it up when I'm there in December. And this is December of last year. And then I decide, I think I want to see them get this trampoline. Everybody thought I was crazy. Here, of course, corresponding with this guy on Facebook, and now I'm going to go meet this complete stranger in Uganda so I can see a trampoline get gifted. So, long story short, ended up going, probably against my family's will, to Uganda to meet this stranger and see the kids get this trampoline. And I decided to set up a match campaign. Because I thought if this guy's really as legit and as Jesus-like as I think he is, I really want to try to help support him. And I love the best with my fundraising to do match campaigns, which is why I formed What Matters into a nonprofit, so that when people donate to contribute to the match campaigns, they'll have a tax write-off. So I decided to do a $5,000 match to try to earn $10,000 for his NGO, which is called Light of Life Foundation. So, but I wasn't going to really launch it until I got there and made sure everything was pretty good. So I get there and I start posting some pictures on Facebook. Had some great feedback from people, and the more I saw what he was doing, the more I realized this guy needs some support and is really doing amazing things. So launched the match and was able to meet goal, which was so fantastic. I will never forget that moment when a client of mine, actually, I had their house listed and hadn't even sold it yet. And they put us over the match, and rather than take the $10,000 and use it to help their needs at the Meisha home, Herbie decided to take $5,000 of that and start a mission project of their own to do some outreach, because he does a lot of outreach as well as taking care of his own kids and that sort. So he'd always wanted to do some work in the village where his father was born. It's a remote village, about 3 hours away from the Meisha home, and they have no electricity. You'll see, I'll show a video here shortly of the schoolhouse that the kids started in, the preschool and kindergarten children. The schoolhouse, when it rained, they didn't have school because it's basically worse than any shack you've ever seen in someone's yard around here. It was like a shed type situation. So we decided and he's very faithful and prays a lot and really asks for guidance and got that intuition to try to build a school there for the children. So currently I have another match campaign to try to finish the school. It's a $12,500 match to try to get the $25,000 to finish the school. But we're really coming along with the project, and you'll see some of the pictures in the video. We have it under roof. It's a nice concrete building. And it's actually twice the size that we originally started to do because of the vision that he had to do something even more there. So it's just really exciting. So there's so much to talk about. I'll show the video, and then of the school process, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about something else before I go wrap it up here. So let me see how technology will work. So they built the new school over top the old school. You'll see a better picture. This is the school as of my last visit there. With some of the children. That really is painful. Next, Herbie. They got t-shirts made to surprise me too. Bunyade in front one of our airport. It says what matters on the back. This is just him saying thank you. So the songs that you'll hear in the video are his songs. So we're actually working on an album that we're going to produce for a fundraising idea that I have that we're working on called Dollar Jean Got More. those are some of the volunteers. That's his sister and some of the other kids that he's supported that now give back and work with the younger children. It was so cool to push down that old school. I was able to lay the cornerstone in April. You can see that's a smaller schoolhouse that started to build and knocked it out. I continue to have school inside the schoolhouse. That's Matthew. I get so choked up when I see this guy. And I say, thank you for asking me to teach you to dance. The amount of lives have changed just from one little boy asking somebody. That's Michael, who's the first graduate. He just graduated this year from college. Right, so I'll just tell a little bit briefly about the song so I was in Uganda, I guess it was in April, I think it was in April, and I would love to go to the music studio to see Herbie recording his songs. I just think it's fascinating. I'm always a song person. I have theme songs for everything. Songs. I think songs are a way God speaks to people that maybe don't go to church, you're driving down the road, you just hear a message that you need to hear in a song. What Matters is actually named after my favorite song by Edwin McCain. And the lyrics to that is like, what matters is your heart. It's not about the money and the time or the love you lost, and that we can make a difference together, and we're all the same, etc. So it's a song that I've played every time I'm running, since '98, I think. So that's why I named What Matters and started my initiatives to be What Matters initiatives whenever I do my nonprofit work. So I decided I want my own theme song for What Matters. So he's recording this song just from scratch right there in the studio that I'm watching. And I thought, maybe I can just write some lyrics and see if he'll make me a song. Those guys are so nice, and they're so thankful, and they're so loving to me. They would do anything for me. So I'm like, I know that they'll make me a song. So I'm like writing some lyrics really quickly, and I'm like, do you think you could turn this into a song? And they did. We stayed at the studio till 3 a.m. It was the night before we were headed to Bonyane to work on the school project, so we had like 2 hours sleep. But he created a song called What Matters Is Your Heart. And it's actually available. You can ask Alexa to play it if you'd like. But I found out yesterday the remix is posted on there now too. I asked Alexa, play What Matters Is Your Heart remix, and she did. So I'm actually singing in the chorus. You can't really hear me, as Chad will attest. I was in the choir with him growing up, but had a couple solos, but not too much. And it's just amazing, to think about. So What Matters, it's called What Matters Is Your Heart, so you can download it on iTunes, on Google Play, and what have you. And we're working on an album with some of his songs, and we're going to launch something called the Dollar Dream Download, which I am hoping will be a global fundraising concept where people who have a cause and they have a song can use that song to spread awareness and raise money for their cause. So What Matters Is Your Heart will be the first Dollar Dream Download. And the concept is that 1 million people will download the song for $1 on any of these venues that I've mentioned. It's like $1.29 to 99 cents is the typical download price. And it's just a mass quantities. Everybody has $1. And so my goal is when this is launched that through social media and that sort, it will not only educate people about the cause, and it's easy, it's too easy to click on Amazon and buy things. I know every 2 days I get a delivery. So I'm hoping that having that easy way for people to give will instill in the hearts of people who aren't like us that know that feeling. And we all know how great it feels to give. Like, it's selfish. I go to Africa. It's selfish. Like, it feels so good, and it's so amazing to be a part of great things. There are people that don't know that feeling. So my hope is that by just $1, by some friend telling them, hey, download this song, that they can see what a difference that makes and get that feeling of being a part of something big and making a difference, that they'll then in their life incorporate it. So that's my $1 Dream download dream, which will be leading into my big passion project, which is called theshabbat.com, which I won't tell you about. But you will hear about it hopefully in 3 years, because my year plan for that hasn't worked. But anyway, thank you for listening. I've just rambled on and had something I was supposed to stick with, but didn't even actually bring it out. But I hope you've enjoyed it. I don't know if anyone has questions or what the timeline looks like.